Getting an ALS diagnosis, it just changes everything, doesn't it? And some of the biggest, most immediate stressors are often about work and money. So in this explainer, we're going to walk through those key challenges. And more importantly, we're going to talk about the practical steps you can take to get back a sense of control and security. Let's start with how this whole journey often begins.
First things first, and this is so important, please know you're not alone in this. The road ahead, it involves navigating some really complex systems and some deeply personal changes. But there is a community out there, a whole network of support ready to help. Think of this as your clear, supportive guide. All right, so where does this all start? Well, for a lot of people, the first place you really feel it is at work. It usually creeps in quietly, just small things that suddenly make those everyday tasks feel a whole lot harder. Think about it. These early signs can hit right at the heart of your job. Hand weakness? That's not a small thing when your job is typing all day or using tools. A slight foot drop might suddenly make walking across the office feel different. And then there's your speech. Client calls, team meetings, they can become a new kind of challenge. And here's the thing that makes ALS so tricky. It can move fast. The progression can happen over months, not years. That means you might need to make adjustments way sooner than you'd think. It's why being proactive, which we're going to talk a lot about, is such a powerful tool. It really puts you ahead of the curve. I really want this to sink in. Your skills, your experience, your knowledge, your value, none of that has gone anywhere. What's changing is the way you do your job, the way you express those skills. You are still the exact same capable, talented person you were before. Okay, let's shift gears and talk about the money side of things. Honestly, one of the most stressful parts of all of this is that gap, the time between when your income from work might start to drop and when financial support finally kicks in. That timing issue is a huge hurdle for so many families. This timeline, wow, it really shows you what we're up against. Even with a compassionate allowance for ALS, there's a mandatory 5-month waiting period for Social Security Disability Insurance, or SSDI. And get this, your first payment doesn't actually show up until the 6th month. That is a long, long time to go without that income.
And remember that waiting period we just talked about? Well, while you're waiting, the bills are starting to show up. This number really puts it into perspective. $47,000. That's the average medical cost in just the first year for someone with ALS on Medicare. This is exactly why bridging that income gap is so incredibly critical. So what can you do? This is where you get to be proactive. This is a big one. By applying for Social Security Disability Insurance as soon as you possibly can after your diagnosis, you get that 5-month clock ticking right away. It's the best way to shorten that waiting period and just reduce the stress of any paperwork delays down the line. Okay, so we've laid out the problem. Now let's talk solutions. Let's get into the safety nets that are there to protect you and your family. And we're going to start with the big one, your health insurance. Navigating health insurance can feel like a total maze, right? But let's break it down. Your insurance through work, that's probably going to end when you stop working. You've got COBRA, which lets you keep that plan for a while, but let's be real, it can be really expensive. The good news is Medicare is there. It provides solid coverage, and it usually starts right after that SSDI wait is over. The key is planning for that handoff. And hey, remember what we said earlier, it's not that you can't work, it's about changing how you work. And you've got legal backup here. The Americans with Disabilities Act means you can ask for reasonable accommodations, and that can be anything from working from home to getting flexible hours or using amazing tools like voice-to-text software or even eye gaze technology. Okay, we've talked a lot about paperwork, benefits, logistics, but let's just pause for a second. Because beyond all the forms and the phone calls, how does this all feel? This is about so much more than just the practical stuff. So let's actually dive into that, because the emotional weight of all this is huge. These changes to your job and your finances, they have a massive impact, not just on you, but on your entire family. I think this quote just says it all. For so many of us, our work is so much more than a paycheck. It's a huge part of our identity. It's our daily routine, our connection to other people. It gives us a sense of purpose. And losing that, or even just scaling it back, can feel like you're losing a piece of yourself. And listen, it is absolutely okay to grieve that. It's a real loss. You're allowed to feel that. You know, what so many people find helpful is connecting with others who just get it. people who are on a similar path. Finding a support group, whether it's online or in your community, can be an incredible source of strength. And the ripple effect is huge. It's not just about your income. Your care partner, your spouse, a family member, they often end up cutting back their own work hours too. That adds a whole other layer of financial and emotional stress. That's why talking openly, planning together as a team, it's not just important, it's essential. All right, we've looked at the challenges from every angle. Work, money, the emotional side. So let's bring it all home. Let's put everything we've talked about into a clear, simple action plan that you can use to move forward with a little more confidence. Think of this as your personal action plan, your roadmap. Every single one of these steps is something concrete you can do to start building that safety net. From applying early for benefits, to talking with the social worker at your clinic, to finding community support, these aren't just tasks, they are acts of taking back control. And that's really what I want you to walk away with. You can't control the disease, we know that. But what you can control is how you respond. You have real power here. The power of knowledge, the power of building a support system, and the power of taking these proactive steps. Just focus on what you can influence right now, today. So I want to leave you with just one thought. Looking at everything we've talked about, what is one small thing, one manageable step that you can take today to start building that sense of security for you and your family?